Welcome to the Broadway.com show, filmed right here in the center of the world, Times Square. I'm Ryan Lee Gilbert.
And I'm Imogen Lloyd-Webber. Today we're getting a handle on Broadway casting for the new season and learning about some exciting off-Broadway announcements.
And later we'll catch up with new dad and Bandstand headliner Cory Cott.
But first, let's get started with the news. What's the buzz, Ryan?
Three-time Tony nominee Tony Shalhoub and indecent star Katrina Lenk will reprise their performances in the Broadway transfer of David Yazbek and Itamar Moses' The Band's Visit this fall. The two stars will be joined by their fellow original off-Broadway cast members, including John Cariani, Georgia Bood, Bill Army, Andrew Polk, Rachel Prather, Jonathan Raviv, Sharon Sayegh, Kristen C., Ariel Stachel, and Alok Tiwari, with additional casting to be announced at a later date. The musical, which won a heap of awards earlier this year, follows an Egyptian police band that's mistakenly sent to a tiny village in the middle of the Israeli desert and centers on the unexpected relationships that develop between the townspeople and the band members. Directed by David Cromer, The Band's Visit will open November 9th at the Ethel Barrymore Theatre.
There's a lot of buzz around this show. It sounds intriguing, Ryan.
It sounds like Come From Away meets Oslo with just a dash of Bandstand.
No, it really doesn't. Right, after Broadway fell for Stephen Pasquale in The Bridges of Madison County, he is returning to the Great White Way in a play. Pasquale has been tapped for the lead role of Robert Merkin in Pulitzer Prize winner Aid Akhtar's financial thriller Junk. Set in 1985, the show follows a successful junk bond trader whose reputation as king of finance is at stake. Directed by Doug Hughes, the drama is set to begin performances at Lincoln Centre's Vivian Beaumont Theatre on October the 5th. Seem like a long way off? No worries. We'll see Pasquale on the boards playing Joel Milk's Booth in Assassins at City Centre next month.
Speaking of Stephen Pasquale, the star was set to reunite with his Bridges of Madison County co-star Kelly O'Hara in this fall's Encore's concert staging of Alan J. Lerner and Frederick Lowe's Brigadoon. But now that he's tangled up in junk, Patrick Wilson will step in as Tommy Albright in the New York City Center production. Directed and choreographed by Tony winner Christopher Wheeldon and also featuring Robert Fairchild, Brigadoon will begin performances on November 15th and run through the 19th. Meanwhile, as Imogen mentioned, this summer's Encore's off-center production of Stephen Sondheim's Assassins, which will run July 12th through the 15th, will also star Julie White, Stephen Boyer, Alex Brightman, John Ellison Conley, Shuler Hensley, Aaron Markey, Corey Michael Smith, and more. Imogen, will the next story also be about Stephen Pasquale?
I'm devastated to say no. Ready to dance in the dark Broadway? It looks like Bruce Springsteen will take up residence this fall at the Walter Kerr Theatre for a limited 8-week run. It'll be the 20-time Grammy winner's main stem debut, and the boss will do a scaled-down version of the set he usually performs on the road. The engagement has sparked rumours that a musical based off of his memoir Born to Run could also be heading to the Great White Way. We will keep you posted.
Of course, the main stem doesn't get to have all the fun. The new off-Broadway revival of the classic comedy The Government Inspector, starring Michael Urie, will transfer to New World Stages with performances beginning July 5th for a run through August 20th. In early next year, the new group will present Stuart Lee and Richard Thomas's Jerry Springer, the Opera, directed by John Rando and featuring choreography by Joshua Burgas. The new group's new season will also include Seth Zvi Rosenfeld's Downtown Race Riot, featuring Chloe Sevigny, David Rabe's Good for Otto, starring acting couple Ed Harris and Amy Madigan, and Lily Thorne's Peace for Mary Frances. And next spring, Manhattan Theatre Club will present the world premiere of Danye Arlove's Sugar in Our Wounds, which will open June 5th, 2018.
Comedian Amy Schumer is eyeing making her Broadway debut in Steve Martin's play Meteor Shower. The 1993 set show follows a troubled California couple. The wife, Corky, to be played by Schumer, has an interest in cannibalism. Tony nominee Mark Kudish is in the mix to play her hubby. Meanwhile, Tony winner Laura Benanti and Hamish Linklater could apparently play a sexual couple who enter their lives and cause chaos. Directed by Jerry Zaks, Meteor Shower is expected to open on the Great White Way in November.
Wait, did you say a sexual couple?
You fixate on the wrong things, maybe the right things.
You mean naked?
Let's just move on, Ryan.
After the break, we'll learn about the acclaimed new play Cost of Living at Manhattan Theatre Club, hang out with Sutton Foster and the stars of Younger, and get inside the opening night of Broadway's 1984. And later, Bandstand star Cory Cott chats about going on the record with the show's cast album and more.
I was born this way. Always misunderstood because I'm different. People assumed because I'm green, I'm wicked. I discovered that by using my brain, my courage, and my heart, one day even I could defy them all.
Hey, this is Andy Carl.
And this is Orfeh, and you're watching the Broadway.com show. Whoa!
Welcome back. George Orwell's best-selling novel 1984, which depicts a terrifying dystopian society sometime in the future, opened on Broadway this week, starring Tony nominee Tom Sturridge, Broadway newcomer Olivia Wilde, and Tony winner Reed Birney. On opening night, we caught up with the stars to chat about why this show is relevant right now.
In a weird way, 1984 is always relevant. Right now, it feels, in a very disturbing way, very specifically relevant because of things like the term alternative facts, which is not a real thing. There's only facts and there's not facts.
We live in a world in which the truth is being questioned. A simple thing, like the numbers at the inauguration of your president. There is the truth and there is something that has been told. And one of the key points of our play is the idea that 2 + 2 could equal 5, if somebody persuades you that it does.
When we all read it in 8th grade, it was science fiction, and now it's actually documentary. It's unbelievable to think how prescient George Orwell was.
Production itself is so immersive that in the seats you feel like you are going through the experience of the characters. So it's an intense, kind of unique theatrical experience.
The 4th season of TV Land's hit series Younger premieres on June 28th, and after last season's cliffhanger of a finale, fans are clamoring to check in with Liza, Kelsey, Josh, and the whole gang this summer. We recently stopped by the Younger studios in Queens to chat with star Sutton Foster about where the show's headed and what it's like being a new mom.
I know it was selfish, but the longer it went on, the harder it became to tell you the truth.
The show's marinated now for 3 seasons, and I think the relationships are deeper. I think all of the actors playing these characters, we all know these characters really well. It's really interesting to sort of see where everyone's going. Also, the world is bigger. I felt like in the first couple seasons, it was really Liza and her little sphere of, and now it's like everyone's branching off, and so the world of Younger has become quite vast. The first couple of episodes back, I mean, I was just thinking about this, even as I was like, I'm worried about her. Is she okay? And I was like, can we get back to, like, you know, fun, happy-go-lucky Liza? I think she's really trying to find her footing.
You bought that stupid Labradoodle book behind my back.
Emily Burns did some digging. She found out about my real age, threatened to write a story about me in EW unless we published her book.
I begged you not to buy that book.
I know. I was just trying to protect
yourself.
It was definitely interesting because I felt like the relationship with Kelsey and Liza was left on such, and beginning of season 4 is on such rocky footing.
Of course, the state of Liza and Kelsey's friendship isn't the only relationship the show's fans are desperate to catch up on. In the season 3 finale, Liza and Nico Tortorella's Josh were broken up after he spotted her kissing her boss Charles. But Foster hints that there's still hope for the fan-favorite couple.
I think Liza will always love Josh, and I think one of the things she wants for him, and maybe this is what's getting in her way of seeing them together, is this idea is that she wants him to have the life that she thinks he deserves or he wants. But I think her love for him is what is sort of setting him free. Like, if you love something, set it free. Whether or not they will find their way back to each other, I don't know. I mean, I think that is definitely a possibility.
Foster also opened up about family life since she and her husband, Ted Griffin, adopted their daughter Emily Dale this spring, and how becoming a mom has reshaped her priorities.
You know, it's life-changing. You know, my life, and especially in the last 5 years, has changed so much, and my priorities and my everything has just sort of shifted, and it just the timing has been. Again, when you can't plan anything, but the timing of it just worked out perfectly.
Beautiful star Abby Mueller and cast performed a pop-up concert in the heart of Manhattan this week. The stars gathered around a custom piano designed by the cast of the Carole King musical. The piano, which is just one of many distributed by the charity Sing for Hope, will be donated to a New York public school in need. Take a look at this mini concert for a cause.
I call couple months ago, a few people from the cast, we came together with a design and we painted it for it to just be showcased throughout the city, and it's going to be donated to schools.
Donated for schools through this amazing organization, Sing for Hope. Carol's music is so relatable and accessible and universal, so I think it's kind of the perfect music to sing in a setting like this. Plus, everybody knows the music.
Got to get up and
Martina Mayok's Cost of Living provides a piercing look at economic and physical disadvantages and the human need to connect. We talked to the company about this shattering new work.
It's about care, need, how we lean on each other. It's a little glimpse into, I think, the fact that everyone is in the struggle for their lives.
You're talking about characters who truly need each other, even if they don't want to, and sort of being able to embrace the idea of leaning into someone else when you have no choice.
Cost of Living features struggling characters, two with physical disabilities, not often seen on the New York stage, and they are portrayed by actors whose presence makes the play all the more real.
This play features two characters with disabilities, one born and one acquired, and I play a character named John who has cerebral palsy, and I myself have cerebral palsy. That doesn't happen very often.
My body is not a body they see all the time, so I'm a double amputee and we don't hide it.
Good playwright and good art that I like to see tends to achieve something universal by being very specific. And so I made these characters out of people that I knew and the experience that I have gone through.
People have been very affected by it, and affected in the sense of they were surprised at how they maybe had their own prejudices of people who are working class but educated, or people who are living with a disability. And so I think that's caught them off guard.
People have been coming up to me with just wet faces, and that's been great.
When we return, an intimate chat with Bandstand's Cory Cott.
Waitress is the most delectable show of the summer, with original music by Sarah Bareilles, the composer behind the hits Love Song and Brave.
And we are back with Mr. Cory Cott of Broadway's Bandstand, one of my favorite musicals.
Oh, thanks,
I love this show. You know I love this show.
I know you do. I appreciate it.
It's such a good show,
It
man.
is. It is.
How are things going over there?
They're going really well.
Yeah?
Yeah. We know we did, we performed in the Tonys.
Yes.
That was incredible.
By the way, I'm pretty sure the best performance of the night, which was incredible.
I mean, I'm biased, but I think so too.
Well,
but
okay, well, the song Nobody.
It's great, right?
Man,
it moves.
This song could cure anything.
It's a jam. I think it's becoming a jam,
I
to be
think
honest.
it's one of the only times, I never want to be an actor in my life, but when I watch you guys sing Nobody, I think it would be fun to be up there.
I have to say, it's one of my favorite moments every day when that like bass line's the doonga 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 coming out to sing that first line. It's like
and you
so
guys are
empowering.
so sexy and like stylish, and
there's nothing that's like it's so cool to say to like a crowd, a theater full of people, to say like, you don't tell me to do anything because I'm gonna do exactly what
It's amazing.
Especially Radio City, that was really cool.
Yeah, so you guys did it on the Tonys, and the show was not nominated for Best Musical.
No.
Which was very upsetting to me, but it was such a crowded year. There were too many shows.
Really crowded.
Too many shows. There should have been
a lot of
slots.
deserving shows.
Absolutely. And Bandstand is one of those. But you got to perform on the Tonys, which is an amazing thing.
Amazing, yeah.
Walked away with the Best Choreography
we won
award for Andy Blankenbuehler, your director, choreographer.
And it was cool because all of that happened before we performed. Like Andy won, and Dr. Jill Biden's introduction was like so patriotic and beautiful. So we were kind of just riding high, it was towards the end of the telecast. It was incredible, yeah.
And since then, I believe you guys just had your best box office week ever.
Best box office week.
Because people love Bandstand, and I mean that number and dancing, and I mean people love to see real dancing.
Well, yeah, and like
that.
the Tonys are all about celebrating, you know, the shows of the season, and I think our show has a lot of elements that even in a crowded season that other shows don't have, and we do have amazing choreography, and we're able to showcase that in a way that we knew would sell us well. And Andy, you know, Andy's a genius, even with camera angles and how he structures. We just did Good Morning America yesterday. He does the same. That. Yeah, he has an eye for it. He has a cinematic eye, and yeah, it's benefited us well. So yeah, we've had amazing weeks. And even this week so far has been pretty much sold out.
Yeah, and word of mouth, it actually means something on Broadway.
It does.
It does. That's an amazing thing.
Yeah.
So the spirits must be good backstage.
They're really good.
And it's a great cast starting.
Oh my gosh, the people are amazing already, and yeah, it feels exciting to know that people care about our show. You know, like Lin-Manuel came, and said some amazing tweets about the show, and awesome. and things like that. It's good to have people in the biz coming to see us and love us, and yeah, we feel like it's time. You know?
I got to sit in the second row on opening night, which was amazing, because you did some things like 5 feet away from me. It's like one of the closest. I was like this close to you.
Yeah, it's intimate.
And it's an intense performance. You play Donnie.
Yeah.
This guy going through a lot.
Yeah.
Post-traumatic stress. I mean, you know, he's a vet, and there's a lot going on with him. Does it weigh on you? Is this a heavy role to walk around with?
It does in some ways, because we know that we have a responsibility to tell the truth of actual veterans that are coming to see our show. In the past especially past 2 weeks, we've had 4 or 5 different vets groups come.
Wow.
And people like last night, a Vietnam vet told me he lost 25 of his fellow soldiers, you know, and it's when those kind of people are there, I do feel the heaviness and the weight of it, because it's real, you know. There's no way to escape the reality of it. So yeah, it does weigh heavy on me, just the responsibility and the way that we can't fake that in any way. And you're right, they are so close that I don't know, not every show is as connected as other shows, because that's just how life works. You're just not the same every time.
Right.
But in the same token, it's like we have to find a way to get to a certain point that is real. And so yeah, it does weigh on me, but at the same time, I've tried to find a way to balance my life with my work and my art, and I feel like I'm pretty proud that I've done a pretty good job of that, you know, and with my family and just
Elliot.
friends.
Let's talk about Elliot.
Elliot. Yes.
How's Elliot? I
He's
love
so
the name
good.
Elliot.
Thank you.
Elliot
Me too.
is your baby boy.
Yep, Elliot.
And he was born
May 1st. Yeah.
Right after opening night.
Right after opening night.
Your beautiful wife was very pregnant on opening night.
She was, and he waited until Monday, a day off.
Great.
We had a 5-show weekend. He came on a Monday, and yeah, he's 7 weeks now, and just is more in a sleeping and eating rhythm that's very conducive for us.
What surprised you about the experience? I know when you're ready to have a baby, you do all sorts of research, and and everyone tells you advice.
Yeah,
everyone gives
even people that don't have kids tell you advice. Like you get a random cab driver who's like, "Yeah, you should do." It's like you don't know me.
What surprised you about the experience so far?
Just you always, it's kind of like anything, like, you know, opening night on Broadway or for Broadway debut or something like that, where you imagine what it's going to be like, and you're like, that's my dream, and I'm going to have so much joy, and then it just surpasses everything. Like, I feel like just the overwhelming feeling of like, I remember when we came home with him, it's like, this is mine forever. Like he's ours forever. It's not like we're renting some thing or a car that we get to use for a week or something, and like then it goes away, or like you get a gift that breaks and then you don't have a gift anymore. This is like, he's like ours forever. Every day I was like, wait, oh yeah, I still have a son, and he's beautiful. So like the overwhelming amount of joy that I knew I would have, but like I didn't fully know what that joy would be, because there's no way to prepare you. So it's kind of like Christmas every day in a way. It's like I have this gift that I get to enjoy and learn from and be exhausted by and frustrated with, but at the same time, just anything he does, I just love and I'm so obsessed with. You know, it's amazing. Yeah.
Christmas every day. That's the pull quote.
Yeah, I think that should be the title of this on
Christmas every day.
Broadway.com show, Christmas every day.
And I also want to know, they do have an album, a cast album, which I'm obsessed with already.
It drops on Friday.
It's amazing. So yeah, so Donnie Novas for the rest of time are going to be listening to your cast album and like trying to sound like Cory Cott, as they should, because you sound phenomenal.
We'll see. Yeah, I grew up driving and listening to cast albums my whole life, so I hope I get to join that group of that discography, I guess.
So yeah, everyone needs to go download the album right now, because it's out now, and go see Bandstand at the Jacobs Theater. You will not regret it. It's one of the best shows on Broadway, and
thanks,
you are phenomenal.
Thanks, man.
It's so good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
We'll be right back with a sneak peek of the film adaptation of Michael John LaCusa's musical, Hello Again, starring a bevy of Broadway vets.
I was born this way. Always misunderstood because I'm different. People assumed because I'm green, I'm wicked. I discovered that by using my brain, my courage, and my heart, one day even I could defy them all.
Hey guys, my name's Eva Noblezada, and you're watching the Broadway.com show.
Thanks for watching the Broadway.com show.
We leave you with the trailer of Hello Again, featuring Broadway alums Martha Plimpton, Audra McDonald, Rumer Willis, and more.
See you next week.
What's better
You're gonna get me all wrinkled.
What would have been?
How's the ankle today?
What's sweet